Okay, so by now you should have seen a couple of tier matchups. I've been trying to get more of those replays because that's what we want to see. Like, we want to test a deck versus the best deck. And seeing as how I've implemented the Bystials, like a full Bystial package with even the Lubellions, the trap card, you can see how much of a difference it makes. And I really like the change because it's a counter to tier, and it facilitates synchro summoning because we get materials out of it. It's not just a hand trap where we go, okay, I'll Crow or Bell or Meister, you know, like, and stop them, but we don't get anything in return. Whereas the Bystials facilitate our synchro summoning. The intention is to stop them, hinder them, and then use them as our own material to synchro summon and fulfill what we want to achieve, which is build our board, right? Which is insane. And look at this, this is crazy. The Lubellions there. At this point, I found out I'm going up with Sprite, and I was like, okay, fair enough. And okay, so this is the cool thing about this guy, because this guy he's a level 8, and that means we can climb up into a Chengying or a Shenshen, which is really nice. And how do we do that? Either with Jet to make a Shenshen, or we use Excel to make our level 10, our second level 10. Look at this. So we get that first. We go Excel effects, send the Stardust, make it level 1. And then that will make us our Shenshen. Like, that's so cool. And I ran out of time. It was just, oh my god. So going after, I should have won that. There's no way I shouldn't have. I should have won that. There's just no way. Yeah, no way. Okay, so starting off first, you see that I opened the Mare. I was like, oh my goodness, you never want to see this. So whenever you have a hand where you open up a variation, whether it be as long as it's these two, Converter and the Doppel, any variation of that alongside a Tuning or Stardust, you're golden, because that means you can bypass or you can prompt responses. Like, this gets untouched by the Bystial cards, right? Or you can stop. They can play past an Imperm, right? Assuming they Imperm you or Veiler you or Bell you or something like that. Then you have another way to trigger the Doppel, right? Of course, if they have Bystial and Hand Trap, it's a bit because like that counters your entire play. But that's kind of the point of being an interactive game, right? You want to be able to stop your opponent, and sometimes, yeah, that's just how it is sometimes. So I end up going for this play. I go for the speeder line, and the speeder resolves. I know I'm going up against Sprite, so I know that it's a very like tempo controlling deck. Like they want to maintain tempo with like their hand traps and like their quick play, and you know, like they want to like they don't build an insane board, but it can be a bit troublesome. But once you lose control, it's like, okay, it's like any other control that can Yugioh history. Just once you lose control, it can be a bit of a struggle to gain control once again, especially when you break their board or you set up a board and then you set up a board after. Like, it's just hard to do that. And look at this. Oh, okay. If you see this, right, I synchroned away my Herald, right? And this is the cool thing about this branded regain. Look what happens. This is so savage, dude. So I banish the Herald. Okay, I banish the Herald from my Magma, right? And then the branded regain puts it back in the extra deck. That's so cool, man. That's so cool. And I can just make it again. Like, that's, oh my god, that's the versatility that this card does. Look, I just made it again. That's insane. I'm trying to get into either to Lubellion or get into the trap, because like if for whatever reason I don't want to lose to like a Dark Wheeler Zeus, you know. But I guess it doesn't matter if he gets Dark Wheeler Zeus, because like I don't know, like how much further can he go beyond that? Because I still have this from my turn. I still have this. I can do a few things. This will come back, so it's not that much of a. It won't be that crazy, but I think. Yeah, and there's no room to synchro this guy out, and because Herald's there, so I can't really like use this and send the Lubellion and it'll get banished. So that's where I'm like, I have to come to terms with, okay, well, I can't get to the Lubellion. There's just no way, you know. And then yeah, so I we're ripping another card with this guy. So I ripped one off of Omega, and then ripping one now off Levy, which is insane. If I can find if I could find a way to make Changing as well, that would have been so good. But there's no way. And then I just pass, and I discard, and he just scoops. And finally, that should have been a 2-0 straight up. That should have been a straight up 2-0. Like I won game 1, I was most likely to crack the board. So this is our game 2. This is what would have happened if he just, you know. This is what would have happened. he does his like his little board, right? He's that's carrot. Oh, it's kind of weird. That's carrot. Goes to sprint, but I don't get why he goes sprint though. Like, I guess just to climb into this guy, and just I guess that makes sense. But I have evenly, so carrot's gone. I'm not in fear of anything. Like, you know, what am I scared of? He sets a back row, and the worst case scenario, that's the quick play. Or like, I don't know, like what could it be? What could it possibly be? I'm not too sure what can it be. So then I draw imperm. So already I'm like, okay, well I can evenly, and if he keeps either or, like he has to keep this. Like if this is something really like an imperm or like something relevant, then it kind of bypassed my play because I'm on the shifter. So I'm not gonna get full value off of the converter. Like I can still use its effect. But I won't be able to like float into something back, and I'm forced to use my jet, so I'm only gonna summon twice to his 3 cards, so it's gonna be kind of troublesome. So I don't know. So I go battle phase, I go evenly, and he just scoops. I was like, oh my god, what that? I mean, he was meant to lose game 1. He was meant to lose game 1. Like, come on. We're back here again, and the deck list has not changed. I'm really liking the Chaos Live in here. Once again, I'm trying to find niche and obscure sequences or combos or lines to eventually I'll get to a point where I'm like, okay, I have to put the jet. The obvious one was the one I mentioned already, where we go going second, this, and overtake. It's insane, right? Because you go this, overtake, search either of these two depending if you have this in hand. You send off of this, prompted response, and then we have Yugioh on the field, untargetable, pop something, right, and then float into Mirror. We haven't even contributed to our normal summon. Like we still have our normal summon. I have to find a way to fit that in because I feel like I need to, but I don't think I can cut anything. Like this comes up way too often. Like especially against Flu when you get shifted. You go into this, you go draw 1, and then you go into Baron, right? Or you go into Changing. Like you need that play because that play is not it's not amazing, but it's still something. Once again, if you haven't seen the other videos, when you go second versus like Flu or something, or a deck that doesn't really care about these guys, then you just like, especially Flu, you take all these 15 out, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 right here, these ones, and you put in all this versus Flu, because it's all good versus Flu. It's stamina phase, hit this field spell, hit the back row, you know, and then, or you can just like, it's so good. And then if you're going against like tier, you keep the Bystials, obviously, and then you take out these 6, you take out the Lubellions, you take out these 3, so 6, and you put these in, right? Put these in. And that's fair enough, and that's basically it. I want to keep bringing these guys, these replays on, and keep showing you guys versus the meta, because like the ban list should be implemented pretty soon, and we'll eventually get some replays where people are on triple dimensional fissure, triple cosmos, macrocosmos, and we'll see how that'll influence and impact the meta. Because tier got untouched, the herald is gone, but like that was divided to begin with. Like some were playing it, some were not, so it varied, right? But for sure, herald is gonna be very sacky now. Like the one herald, oh, you do the one herald, oh my god, are you serious? But that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching.